Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me? Let's see here. There we go. Now I can see the chat. For some reason, couldn't see the chat. I don't know what happened, but here we are. Thank you guys for coming. I'm excited to be streaming. I haven't streamed like this in a very long time. I used to do it almost every Friday. So pretty wild how far things have come. Last time I streamed like this was actually in my bedroom at my parents' house. So pretty cool stuff. I'm excited. Now we're in the office. Okay, so my audio is boosted. I have a new webcam, so I apologize if it's crazy loud. So I will try my best to keep my voice down. I'm naturally a very loud talker, so I apologize about that. Hi, dude, with an actual V8. That's right. But Ryan C, thank you for the audio warning. Oh my God, people are coming. How's everybody doing? I see some familiar names as well. I'm very excited. Hi from Spain. I love the international love for sure. Well, let's see here. How do you feel about getting a motorcycle? I personally will probably never get one because I am just too stupid and I don't trust other drivers. So yeah, that's pretty much why. I've had a lot of friends who have been hit by other cars with that, unfortunately. Anthony, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Let's see, Mark III Super, wish me luck. I will absolutely wish you luck with that because that's going to be a tough project. Oh, we got people from Puerto Rico in the house. Let's go. Let's see here. Oh, somebody got a Terminator Cobra. Steven, I hope you enjoy the car. Hope it's good. F30, thanks so much for the first super chat. That's my first super chat in probably 2 years. So thank you so much. Thanks for being such a big fan. And no, it's really cool. Let's see here. Can you shout my turtle out? Hello, turtle. Okay, well, you know what? Since a lot of you guys are early, I will go ahead and get one of the things out of the way. The S13 Drift Coupe is still a thing. A lot of people probably forgot about it. And I am kind of glad that a lot of people forgot about it, to be honest with you, because essentially I hit some very hard times with that car, some trials, tribulations, tried to do some very unorthodox things with it. And I paid the price, I guess you could say, by trying to do something different. And it's been through a lot. So I have to redo a lot of the car. I have to redo a lot of it in order to make it safe. There's a lot of hazards I had to fix. So that's a thing. Just wanted everybody to know that. Oh, C4 Productions, thank you so much for the donation. Yo, what's going on, man? Remember me from Ice Cream Cruise? We chilled with Trev and the B-roll set. Yes, that was a really good time. And Ice Cream Cruise, if you guys have never been, super underrated. Probably the most underrated car event I've ever been to. And it's kind of like legal street racing. It's got roll racing it's on a track, but it might as well be a public road. It's very skinny. I did the the RSTI review on that track. JB says, what's your opinion on the RPM Act, yay or nay? So funny story. If you guys want me to make a follow-up video about the RPM Act, please let me know, because I actually got some responses. I got a response from somebody on the right side of the aisle and the left side of the aisle. And I'll just let you guess how predictable that ended up. But in other words, one person was like, yes, we support it. The other person was like, no, absolutely not. So I might make a follow-up on that. But RPM Act, overall, I support it. It saves a lot of people in the industry, But when it comes to people rolling coal and stuff like that, I totally understand the aspect, but the people writing the law don't understand the rest of the industry. That's where I have a problem with it. Whoa. Is it Junus or Jonas? I'm so sorry if I said it wrong. Much love from Estonia land. S14 pre-facelift almost done, and daily McGain RS needs some love. We'll order some products soon. Thanks so much, man. If you guys have never been to pattersoncarcare.com, it's a huge help. And we're probably going to repackage the bottles soon. They're going to look a lot nicer. We basically had a trial period first to kind of see how things would go. And everybody who has used it loves it. So we're moving forward with some more stuff. Let's see here. Domenico says, will you be at Ford Nationals? I unfortunately will not, but if anybody's in Pennsylvania, highly recommend Ford Nationals. It's absolutely incredible. Somebody asked when the next Smurf video is. So I'm waiting on the rear bumper brackets to mount it, because if you guys remember, after the crash with the truck that rear-ended me, it kind of messed those brackets up. So the rear bumper started to flex after we did the paint job. So now with basically the paint job pretty much done, now we're waiting on brackets from Detroit. As you can imagine, things are slow in the parts department. Blake Johnson, that is that is a very hard question, but I've had some amazing memories in a lot of different cars. Let's see here. Ooh, somebody's building a B5 S4. Good luck to you. Love the cars, but they have their trials and tribulations as well. How did you enjoy Spokane? Ooh, I've been there twice. I've been to that track, stuttering, excuse me. I've been to that track twice. The first time I was there, we did the whole RS7 video, and that was really fun. That got 1 million views. Could not believe that. And then we also went there, and I was in the Supra, and I drove the Supra around track, and it was a good time. And the same day, a good friend of ours had an SVJ, and I chased him down in a Corvette ZR1, and that was a lot of fun. Let's see here. Oh, John Lilly. Oh, thanks so much, by the way, for the super chat. I know Patterson Car Care is good stuff, because when I tried to buy it, it was sold out. Yes, we did sell out, especially during the pandemic. We were not ready for the output of orders at the time, because we were still a growing business. You know, we basically ran out of chemicals at one point, and we had to back catalog, and that was a tough time. Remember years ago, you went to Boston, one of my best memories. Can you do that again? I really wanted to go last time, but I was stuck doing my thing, or my timing belt with my Miata. Yeah, I would love to return to Boston. The car meets in Boston, the subscriber meets we've always had in Boston have always been an amazing time and really great people. Top 5 cars I'd like to do a review on. I would say a Koenigsegg. This came up recently. I can't believe I never did one. I'd like to do like a DeLorean time machine, like Back to the Future. Love to do that. I'd love to do some movie cars along those lines. I'd love to do some of the more unorthodox stuff, the hard to reach stuff. Like supercars are cool, but not everybody on this channel loves them. So that's where you kind of have to like meet in the middle with tuner car and stuff like that. But Koenigsegg has always been like my dream car review. Even if it didn't get a lot of views, at least for my personal dream experience, I'd love to do it. Aaron Dyer says, hey, David, curious on how you balance car safety and miles per gallon. A close friend of mine almost died in his RSX in December. Okay, I'm assuming like black ice, and it kind of messed with my idea of get yourself to a racing school, save up the money, go to something like Skip Barber, or if you have a local track that has like J-Zilla track days or anything along those lines, a racing school will teach you how to respect a car at its 10th degree. It'll also teach you to have discipline on the street and realize that on the street, you have to be much more careful than be on the track. My main rule of thumb is I know I have a lot of experience, so therefore I kind of have that muscle memory to know what to do when something goes wrong. But for the most part, most people don't. And I've been to 10 different racing schools now. And that's not me flexing. I'm just saying the amount of experience I've had applies to the street. JDM asks, yo, I literally just ordered a manual Mach 1 with the handling package today. Thanks for all the Mustang videos over the years. This is my first Mustang. You are going to have an amazing time. I think a lot of people took at, I released two videos about the Mach 1. And both might have come off as kind of negative. I think it's because I more so thought it was a better opportunity to do something kind of unique and different, like a hybrid system or something weird. Because the Mach 1 always pushed the technology of the Mustang, but very glad that you got the manual. You're going to really enjoy that Tremec gearbox. And I didn't give that car enough credit. I actually saw one in the wild yesterday, and I was like, okay, all right, it's probably pretty good. So I'll be excited. I think it's also because they're getting rid of the GT350 for the Mach 1, and that kind of puts a lot of bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. But GT350's been out like 6 years now, which time flies. Toy Box Car Club says, I ordered a 2021 Bronco. Do you think it's worth all the hype? Also, you have to get back to Carlisle. I agree. The Bronco, I believe, is worth the hype, especially with its technology and with Ford doing some seriously weird branding decisions the past 2 years, like the Mach-E and stuff like that. I think they really hit a home run with the Bronco. I mean, you look at that vehicle, especially like the one you can take the roof off and all that. You go, that's a Bronco. That is a Bronco. And I don't think anybody really challenged that. I'm very excited to drive one whenever I get the chance. Very excited. Would we maybe see you owning a 3 for Cobra soon? As of right now, I have so many projects going on, and probably not, because not that I don't love them, but it's because their prices are still pretty expensive, and you can buy a new car for that. So that's where I kind of meet in the middle with that. The Terminator is one of my favorite cars ever. But yeah, 30 grand, I'm not quite there. I'm just not quite there, but I love the car. Trent asks, hey, David, I saw your reviews on the Solstice a long time ago, GTO and G8. Those were really good days. And those were that was like 2014. I'm looking for a sports-oriented Pontiac. Which one would you recommend if you remember them? The G8 is a more usable one. I think out of the two, I would recommend the G8. You're not going to get really nice interiors in those cars if you care about that. But if you don't care about it, yeah, I would personally own the G8 over the GTO. The GTO has that Australian coolness to it because it has that Holden era. But yeah, I think the G8 is an overall better vehicle. Random question. What's your opinion on cryptocurrency? Do you own any? That's a really interesting question. I am actually pretty uneducated about cryptocurrency, and I just recently have been looking into it. Honestly, if I were to go back in time and I knew about Bitcoin, I would have 100% bought some, obviously. But the fact that there's so many of them, I need to do more research, and I have a saying in life that's very important, and especially in the car world, that know what you know what you don't know. So I'm not going to give you advice about something I don't know. Oh, Low Tags, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Let's see here. What is your favorite Eurobeat song? You can't go wrong with Running in the 90s, man. Cannot go wrong. Have you reviewed a 1984 Corvette with manual trans? No, I don't believe so. I've never done a C4. Wow. Just realized that. Anyway, Gabriel says, I have a 2013 Mustang GT with the garbage trans. The car has 90K miles on it, but it's still kicking. When it blows up, what do I need to do? What do I need to trim it, swap it? Funny story. I'm doing that this year. I actually have a T56 from American Powertrain, and I have a center force clutch. If you remember, if you didn't see the video, it's okay. It's a very interesting video. Highly recommend it. I went and built my own clutch out in Arizona by Center Force. That clutch was to do the swap. So you're going to need the clutch, the flywheel, make sure that the splines are all added up. So you can go to Center Force and be like, hey, this is the swap I'm doing. Can you help me out with it? They'll get you the right measurements. They'll do all that. And then after that, it's pretty much a bolt-on, because the Coyote geometry is similar to the GT350s, which is the GT350 use a Tremec gearbox. So that's my best advice. Also, if you want to have your trans last longer, I highly recommend the Barton short shifter and the 2-post bracket, or a MGW. My Smurf is still going with the MT82. I am very disciplined with my shifts, and that's probably why it's still going. But yeah, I definitely give the credit to the shifter a lot. Alexis asks, coolest car you saw reviewed in Iowa? Good question. The Type R was really cool. Driving a bone stock Integra Type R was pretty neat. But Kyle's R8, even though it's a Nebraska car, come on. Kyle Loftus's AMS twin turbo R8, that's going to be a memory I have the rest of my life. That's pretty amazing. We tried to review the Subaru that blew up, but unfortunately it wouldn't start. You guys might have seen the video. I'm sorry. Time flies when you edit, guys. So totally forgot to even put that video out a few days ago. So you know how it goes. Pretty intense stuff. And I mean, modified cars, you know, things happen, and that's okay. Are you planning to build Smurf's engine to reach the 1,000 horsepower mark? I'm going to probably keep it around 700 because I have learned the lesson after, guys, I think I've driven over 1,200 cars now. It seems like in modern vehicles, once you go past that 600-700 mark on stock everything, especially on domestic stuff, unless you're dealing with Hellcats, Demons, the Shelby GT500, excuse me. Once you're dealing with all those, like, that's where you should stop. If you want a car that has a lot more maintenance, then yeah, go ahead. But it's more of a party trick. Once you pass that certain horsepower, it's a party trick, and it's cool for video, but it's not necessarily great to own, to be honest with you. Opinion on 93 D8 Integra, if you want to review mine. B20B, I'd do it. Totally do it. If you're here in Georgia, let's do it. I don't think I've done that one. So for sure. Give me 1 second. Side note, everybody, I actually, some behind the scenes stuff. I just, Timmy is in here. Yeah, Tim Ford. So if you guys don't remember, I took a KAT 240SX. I made like 600 something last year in Florida and beat the snot out of it. That's Tim. So Tim, thank you for coming in. So some behind the scenes stuff. I went to Z1 Motorsports 2 days ago and drove one of their cars. Is essentially like a prototype 400Z. They took the VR30 out of the Q50, Q60, put it in a 370Z. So that's probably gonna be the next video that comes out. Joey says, Smurf inspired my lime green dipped S197. Marvin the Mustang, thanks for everything you do. I appreciate that, guys. As many of you guys know, I am just like everybody else. I have some hard times. I have some good times. So hearing that stuff really does help. When I hear the moral support from subscribers, when I say thank you, I really mean it because it keeps me going. It keeps me motivated because all of us in life get unmotivated sometimes and burnt out sometimes. But comments like that really do help. Let's see here. Hello from PA. I'm an avid user of PCC and big fan of Smurf and your fiance. Well, tell it to Alejandra. I think she's actually in the chat right now. So hello, I love you. I'm going to take a sip of water because I am going to lose my voice if I go at this pace, but I'm having a really good time. Somebody just asked, would I do videos on trucks? Well, that was a thunk. So it depends on the truck because the trucks on my channel, or they're just like, you know. And honestly, I have a YouTube channel that very much relies on the interest of the car, right? It's not so much people don't like me or not. Like that's what I've kind of realized is that it's like, you know what, that car he reviewed, I'm interested in. Let's see what he has to say. And if it's a car that is a little bit more unorthodox, it could go either way. And that was a hard lesson to learn. Over time, you kind of think, oh man, like what's wrong with me? Do people not like me? And it's like, dude, just keep on filming, bro. You know, just keep on trucking, keep on going. Let's see here. What's your opinion on the RSX Type S? If you did not go watch the video where I drove a turbocharged RSX Type S, highly recommend that car. It's a great, especially if it's a first car. It's a great car to learn manual in. It has a K-series motor in it, so it's very reliable. Transmission's pretty solid, and it's a fairly modern-ish interior. Daily driving an Integra or a 240 or something like that, it's not as livable as, say, the RSX. Fella says, just wanted to say I love the hustle, man. Been watching you since high school. You've came a long way and still have a great attitude. Congrats. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Smiles for miles, smiles for gallons, right? Skipper, that's a good name. What are your thoughts on some Australian states starting to change people per kilometers driven electric vehicles? It's kind of scary. Yeah, I do. I'm not completely educated on the laws in Australia. I do know the rough facts of it. I know that you guys have a hard time modifying your cars. I know that having a modified car on the street is not a great idea, so I've heard. But yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Like, it's pretty ridiculous for me to be limited on something like that. That's just silly. Blake asks, would you recommend a JZ or an LS for 300ZX? I can't decide. I'd like to hear some insight since you've driven both. Okay, so the JZ is the emotional decision. You're going to spend more money and it's going to sound cool, but you're going to have a lot more troubles, I would say, and a lot more maintenance. The LS is, I just want to go faster and I want a car that works. You're going to deal with a few R&D issues. When I say that, I mean, you're going to have a little bit of overheating or something like that, and then you'll have to upgrade your cooling. But with the JZ, think about this. You're dealing with a turbo, you're dealing with the intake manifold, you're dealing with a lot more heat, intercoolers, intercooler piping, fitment, excuse me. The JZ has the cool factor, the LS has the functional factor. So I know that's a hard answer. It's kind of like the video I did recently where I did the 1J swap versus the LS swap in the 240. Gabriel says, thanks. Also, how much did it cost you to paint Smurf? It is not cheap. I can tell you that. If you just want to do a color change, like a simple color change, just go wrap your car. Painting is a whole different thing. But if you want a paint job, it's going to be in the thousands of dollars. Like a cheap paint job is probably $5,000 to $6,000 to start with. So if you're not willing to spend the money, don't do it. Because it's a process. It's a very long process and tedious process. Shook Up, thank you so much for the thumbs up. Wow, that didn't rhyme. It was just the same word. Anyway, yo, thank you. Zaire, yo, thank you so much for the super chat. Paint as hell, but that's pretty accurate, Skipper. Pretty accurate. What's up? Are you ever going to drift your 240? Not my blue JZ 240. No, but the other one. Let's see here. What do you think the value of a decent EG hatch will be in the next 10 years? I think they will hit 10 grand. I will not be surprised if an EG hatch hits 10 grand. I've actually been looking into doing an EG hatch project this year. So if you guys want that, give a thumbs up. And at the same time, prices are very, very high. So I'm on the hunt, but I'll find a good one. And then I'll definitely let you guys know how much I end up paying, because it definitely varies in the degree and quality of the EG hatch. Let's see here. Wait, since when did you have to do with 240? Go do some digging on the YouTube channel. And I'm not saying that in a mean way, like go way back and you'll know which one I'm talking about. I still got it. Okay. David should got Zach's EG hatch. Yeah, so that one, believe it or not, rotted away in the woods. I found the shell and I thought about it, and then the guy just let it rust away, which is really a shame. But that's pretty much the moral of the story. Let's see here. When you visit Puerto Rico again, I'm definitely going to visit Puerto Rico again. Let's see here. Will you please take your windows? No, you're right. Still have it. Still have it in my windows, but it's just a habit from living in Virginia where you get pulled over for everything, and I just never gotten to it. Let's see here. David, how do I detail a wrapped car? Okay, so that can be a little tricky, but most of the time, look, I don't want to self-plug, but my stuff, the Patterson Car Care stuff, is safe for any surface. Like, it's so safe that our Brake Dust Pro doesn't even eat Plasti Dip. Like, it doesn't even hurt Plasti Dip. Like that's how tame it is. So our quick detailer, our soap, all that, it's completely fine for wrapped cars. But you wash it just like anything else. Honestly, you just don't wax it. That's basically the nutshell explanation. 2-bucket system, all that good stuff. Gary, typically for reviews, if I travel somewhere, I need to do multiple cars at once. So if you have like 5 or 6 cars or something, I have to, I got to break even on the trip because plane tickets aren't that cheap. Lodging isn't that cheap. So once you get that evened out, yeah, I'll think about it. Okay. Is it safe to go through a car wash with a wrap car? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. What if gas cars got banned? Oh, yeah, I would hide them away. Absolutely hide them away somewhere. Is Jasmine the Evo still the scariest car you've driven? It is in the top 5. There is no doubt about it. When you're crab walking like this, guys, and it's 9 to 15 degrees out and you've never driven a car that fast before, it's wild. Alejandra actually wrote in the back and said it took her breath away on a ride along. But James actually sold that car. So it has a new owner down in Florida, I believe. Michael or Mikhail, I am so sorry if I said that wrong. What car would you like the most from 90s Rally? Ooh, 90s Rally. Probably a Kazi or something like that, an Escort. The 80s, I think way more of because of like Group B. But Audi Quattro and the RS200. The RS200, somebody asked me if there was a car I could review. That one is like top on the list, the RS200. Obey, yo, love the videos. Just got fired yesterday. I am so sorry. I just rolled my charger the same day. Your videos always bring me joy. Love your Smurfs. They are my dream cars. Obey, I am so sorry that you've had such a rough time in the past 24 hours, but I promise it gets better. And the number one thing is the charger was just a car. As much as all of us in this stream love cars, it was still just a car, and you're okay. That's what's important. Let's see here. Would you would you consider reviewing an NAT? Yeah, absolutely. Z31 review. Yeah, I could probably find one of those pretty easily. Hey, David, did you see the resto mod of the Lancia 037 Evo? I saw one of those in like Alpharetta, Georgia, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Never been in a Lancia. I have no experience in a Lancia, actually, after all these years. There again says, want to review one of 27 Gold Edition GTR and G. Yeah, let's do it. Sounds like a pretty rare thing. Just email me at thatdudeandblue@gmail.com. Easy to remember. Let's see here. What's your favorite car that you've driven but not done a review on? That's a good one. Off camera, what have I done? Or what have I just driven around? Man, because for what I do, I always feel obligated to film, right? So, man, that is tough. Oh, I did my buddy Henry, he was on the show Sorted. I drove a 1JZ big turbo IS300, and we just went for a drive. It was super simple. We went to Wawa and got food. We were down in Florida, and really good memory. And actually, that car is going to have an appearance on my channel within the next month too, because we're 2JZ swapping that with a brand new short block from Toyota. A lot of people don't realize that Toyota makes the 2JZ, which is wild that not a lot of people know that. I just want a Mazda Speed 6, please. That is a high maintenance car, so be ready to work on it if you end up getting one. Any plans for Lexus LFA review? Only 500 of those in the world. That would be a hard one, but I would do it. Scariest car I've driven. Jasmine's up there, obviously. Real Street Supra was definitely up there as well. The black Supra from 2015. That one was pretty nuts because it would start kind of floating like this. Those are just two that come to. Oh, you know what? Javier's 240 from TRC. He sold that car, but it was at the time, an 8-second 240SX on the street. And then it was a 790 car. And it was a 2JZ big turbo. High five, Adam. I know, super lame, but worth it. Would you ever host a car meet again? I don't really know. If I were to ever do that, it would be like a legitimate event. at a track. And I think I would do like some kind of form of legal roll racing because back in the day, that's what I come from. I come from the old days of like street racing and stuff when I was super young. And that's how I got into the car YouTube thing so much. But yeah, I would love some form of roll racing or something like, because it's just so much easier in your car and people are way more open to do roll racing instead of digs. I love digs, but they snap axles and break diffs and all that good stuff. What's a vehicle you'd say no to reviewing? Something I have done way too many times. And also if it's not different enough than something I've done, even if it's down to the aesthetics, like if it's like another white version or another black car or another blue car of the same thing I've done already, it's just like, I can't, it's just, it's a hard decision. Are you ever restocking Patterson wheel cleaner? We are making another batch. Do not worry. It's a very high demand product, so I apologize for that. And I'm thankful for you even asking. So thank you for being so about it and asking. Really, really does mean a lot. See, I'm cheesing. Makes me happy that you like the stuff. The stuff that smells horrible but works freaking great. Let's see here. What's your top pick for a fun and cheap first car? You know what I'm going to say. Practicality-wise, probably something like the RSX, a Honda Civic Si, Golf GTI Mark 7's really great. Focus ST, Fiesta ST, Miata. Answer is always Miata, man. They're just such great cars. And you will never understand how good the Miata is until you've driven one on some twisties. That's when you're like, I've been missing out. Why have I never looked into these? Like, that's how you go, wow. Will you sell the Integra? I've actually thought about it, but as of right now, no. I'm going to clean it up a little bit first. I'm talking like $2,000 cheap. Yeah, you could probably find something like that for $2,000. Yeah, you probably find like an old EK hatch or something like that has like a D series in it or something. King Caesar 3000 says, hey, David, I know you did the Acura TL, but would you like to do the TL Type S 6-speed? I would actually like to do that. I would actually like to, because if I remember right, forgive me if I'm wrong, was that one all-wheel drive, or am I getting that confused with something else? I know what I know what I don't know, but please let me know if that's accurate. Let's see here. C7 Grand Sport. Pretty good car. Pretty great. C7s, dude, they're going to be like the best platforms in like 5-10 years, because it's kind of like what's happening to the C6 now and the C5 now. The C6 is just still such a force to be reckoned with. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. Will you review my Turbo LS Swap E46 M3? Yes. If you come to Georgia, I will do it. Or if you are somewhere that I need to go to, find me some other cars and I will also do it. That's kind of like my main rule. If I can do like 4 to 5 cars in a location that's far from home, I usually do it. Because usually when you land, this is how it works. Usually when you land, you'll have like 4 lined up, 1 will break, and then somebody else will show up instead and be like, oh, I have 2 more friends. And then it ends up being a really great trip. That's a lot of the times. Do you like Porsches? Yes. Porsche is a company that they don't look as cool a lot of the time as the other supercar brands, but when then you drive one, it's like the Miata. You get it. You go, oh my God, after all these years, wow. Especially the GT3, GT2. GT2 is just so nuts, like absolutely insane. Any updates on the shop? Yes, I have a mini ramp now. I got a ramp built, and it's like my stress reliever. So if I'm boxed in here, right, and I'm having a stressful day, I'll go to the mini ramp, pump back and forth, and just kind of vibe. You know what I mean? It's like vibing, I know. But you just kind of put on some nice music, pump back and forth, do a few tricks, get back to the office, and it's super helpful. I'll probably do some skating videos on the second channel as well. Side note, I did a video with the Tony Hawk Foundation that's not edited yet. So if that comes out, guys, well, it will. But I'm going to really need you guys to help share that one if it comes out, because I know it's not quite like a normal That Dude in Blue video. So I'm going to definitely need your guys' support for that one. Let's see here. I think I might have missed a super chat, so I apologize. I'm checking it out, making sure I check it out. Let's see here. Okay, no, we're good. Whew. Let's see here. Where you boost your 2018 Mustang. So that was actually my original plan for that car. And then I put Michelin PS4 S tires on it, Fortunato coilovers, and then a few other things. And then I went to the mountains and had the time of my life in that car. And I was like, God dang it. It's balanced and it's fun to drive and it's reliable. So as of right now, you know, on the 85, it makes like 500 wheel. So it's dumb fast for what it is right now. I run out of room in that car all the time. So, but yeah, if I ever were to build a drag car out of all of my cars, it would be that one. I have a 20 Mustang GT, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan Harding. I have a 20 Mustang GT. I can't decide if I want to do a VMP or a big single. The VMP is more daily drivable. It does a really good job of feeling more normal, but you still get the supercharged whine. And overall, almost no maintenance. The turbo, you're going to have a little bit more maintenance, but you're going to probably, in the end, make more power, which in turn, more maintenance. You'll probably run a faster drag time, but the VMPs, you'll be like a 10 or high, like 9-second quarter mile out of the box, like if you have the 10 speed. So it's a hard decision. Honestly, it's a preference thing anymore. Brandon Perrin. Hey, David, I have a 1997 Mercury Grand Marquis. I'm trying to turn into a sleeper. What do you recommend I do to it? So I am not sure what motor is in that. I think it might be the 2-valve, so I apologize. I would highly recommend going to watch a video I did about one of my friends. His name's Zach Borden, and he did a Lincoln Town Car build, and he did a T56 Tremec swap in it, and he does it for autocross. So that's probably a really good basis to kind of understand his trials and tribulations. Yeah, 4.6 through 2-valve. That's what I thought. Would you like to drive the Omni again? I would, and hopefully I won't be as scared this time. That was nuts. That was a crazy day for sure. Is this video going to be saved on your channel for us to watch later? I kind of decide to see how it does first. Because live streams on YouTube have been known to kind of mess with your channel's algorithm because it sees it as a low viewed video. So then you sometimes don't get recommended as much. YouTube says this is a myth, but it's been proven to me, really, honestly. Josh says, how does someone inquire about you having to review their car of a 300ZX that has invested a lot of time and money to result in a solid build with some cool elements in mind, not for the clout? Thank God. All you have to do is email me at ThatDudeinBlue@gmail.com, and then we can try and set up a date. It's that easy. McLaren F1 or Celine S7? McLaren F1, almost instantly. Celine S7 looks really cool, but the F1 drives better. From what I've heard, especially my good old buddy Brock Ferretti said his Celine S7 experiences were not that great. It had a lot of problems as well. But the F1 is so hard to maintain. So that's another one. But I would love to drive it. Like, I thought about it. I was like, oh my God, I have to make it up to these people so much. But I've been very stressed with life going on. Like, this is my list of just today. So in my chicken scratch handwriting. Isaiah, excuse me, Isaiah, I am so sorry. Love what you're doing. Keep it up. Thank you. Craziest car you've driven and reviewed that you'd be willing to daily drive. I would say the Boost Logic GTR. It made 1450 wheel horsepower, and I could probably daily drive that. Same with the Huracan Performante that was by Dallas Performance. That made like 1200 wheel, and I could drive that every day. No problem. And those were by far some of the fastest cars I've driven around the channel. Let's see here. Mitsubishi Mirage in Puerto Rico. Oh yeah, I would love to do that. I made some more friends in Iowa that were from Puerto Rico, so I'll definitely come back. So pretty cool stuff. Pro Streets 12. What happened to your S13 1JZ coupe, David? So you must have dropped in. That was one of the first things I acknowledged. Still have it. It's not 1J anymore, but hopefully by the end of the year, it'll be done because a lot of things have gone wrong with that car. I had to redo the entire trans tunnel recently for a big transmission. So try and figure it out. Let's see here. Okay, we need to end this debate. USDM, Integra front end, or JDM. It's preference. I think I did the USDM because I just have driven so many JDM Integras. I wanted to see if it was possible to make the bug eye look like really nice. And I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with the bug eye front end. But I would say the JDM is the safer choice if you want that clout point and you want just a more streamlined look, honestly. Let's see here. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Is it worth buying a 1314 Mustang GT? I mean, I would say yes. I would save your money for an S550 if possible. But if you're just looking for something that's fun and quick and stuff like that, yeah, it's still a great car. I mean, the interior is not up to modern snuff. That's the number one weakness of that. And it's live axle, so you have to be a little bit more careful. But no, power-wise, it's a cheat code. Still is. Those cars are going to be, I feel like those are going to be pretty common drift cars fairly soon because you can probably find like a salvage one for pretty cheap. And it's got way more torque. Now, I would love to come back to Virginia, but unfortunately, there's just not enough for me there. And the cops are just too brutal, dude. I don't know if you know this, all my homies who are watching from Virginia, they were knocking on my friends' doors asking about me. So yeah, it was time to go. And Georgia has a better airport. I fly direct everywhere, stuff like that. It's all these little things that led me here. But I do miss my friends there. Dylan, let me answer your question. Didn't you do a stage 2 and stage 3 VMP on Swerve? I did. So first we tested the 2.3 the Gen 2 was the 2.3, did a pull on it, did like 630 wheel with 630 torque. And then we did the Gen 3R, which made 710 wheel. And it's a beast. The car is just an absolute beast. I've never been to the Indianapolis 500 before, by the way. I know. Before you give me some crap. Eddie, if you missed it earlier, Eddie 430, I was mentioning that earlier, and I'm so sorry that I haven't been back. Let's see here. Black Diamond. By the way, Abraham Lincoln vibes. That's right. Black Diamond says 2011 through 2013 Buick Regal GS. If so, what's your thoughts on it? GM's most slept on car in a while. 162 top speed, 225. Yeah, that was a weird one. That Buick is a weird one for me because I remember seeing it the first time and be like, what? Like on a Buick? Like that's kind of strange, but who knows? I've never driven one, so I don't want to make an opinion on it, but neat idea though. Marco V, newer STI or save some money and get a Mazda Speed 6 in very good condition. Newer STI, I would say. It's going to be, you're probably going to get more seat time in it, honestly. The Mazda Speed 6, the best way I can describe it is a prototype for the Focus RS later down the road. So they were trying things out. They were trying parts out. And that was kind of what led it to its demise because it's essentially a prototype EcoBoost engine. And the geometry is almost the same. All right. Are you going to Chicago in the near future? I definitely need to. That's the one city I haven't really filmed a lot of car stuff in, like major city. So I should definitely head there. I'd probably go see AMS and my buddy Arnie, who had the Cannonball record. If you know who Arnie is, really, really cool guy. Thoughts on Tommy F.S. selling his R33 GTR already? I mean, Tommy is one of those guys that if he likes a car, he likes a car. If he doesn't like it, it's out of there. I'm a rare breed. I still have all of the original cars I've had since the beginning of my YouTube channel because I hoard things. So it's very hard for me to let go of my projects, but logically, I probably should get rid of something, but I haven't. And at the same time, it could probably help me with funding to do something else. Crown Vic, drive my ProCharge 3 valve Crown Vic. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yes, shoot me an email, thatDudeinBlue@gmail.com. ST swapping my Ford Probe. Want to drive when done? Abso-freaking-lutely. Does that even fit correctly, or did you just fab everything? Well, yeah, I guess it would fit off the top of my head because no, you could have had the other motor, the V6, right? I'm sorry. Inform me if you can. But yeah, answer is yes. Same answer. Hey, do you ever come back to RVA? Yes, to visit family typically. And then I did a filming trip there last year where I did like 20 cars. So that's why a lot of people saw Virginia plates and a whole bunch of different videos and thought I moved back. And that wasn't the case. I was just filming while I was up there. Let's see here. Eddie 430. What would it take for the new Nissan Z to be a definite buy for you? If they actually had a pre-order set up. No, I'm honestly really thinking about it. I'm actually in works of trying to get an allocation. And I don't say that lightly. I would not say that unless I'm actually trying. I'm trying to find an allocation for that car because, guys, the first new car I've had on this channel and the last one was Smurf. Every other one was like an older JDM car or something. So I think it's time I do a new car project, and I think that's going to be the most accessible one for you guys. So I want to see what the ownership experience is like. Let's see here. Slow Rex. I'm building an S550 Mustang 5.0 as a drift chassis. Thoughts? I think it's a good idea. I think the hardest thing that's going to be for you is the size. It's a big car. So you're going to have to kind of work your way into figuring out where your nose is. And when you drive like a 350Z or something, it's really easy to know where you are. That's why I give so much credit to people like Denofa and Vaughn because they're drifting these big Mustangs. So S550 like drift car is such a great idea because you have independent rear suspension, you have all the torque you'll ever need, you won't have to boost it. It's a great idea, honestly. Opinion on the 3000 GT. I love the car to death, but I just hate how unreliable they are. It makes me so sad. Bar SWAT, but yeah, totally not sketchy. That's for sure. What's your favorite in Need for Speed game? Cough, cough. By Pro Street. You know what? I had a lot of time on Pro Street. I liked Pro Street a lot. At first I did it, and then I warmed up to it. And I was like, wow, okay. By the way, side note, I know it's super late to the party, but if you guys want me to make a video on Need for Speed Heat, please let me know because I finally gave in and played throughout the entire campaign. I made myself play through it. So if you want my thoughts and opinions on it, please let me know. But Underground is still the one in my heart, obviously. Max Anderson. Have you ever reviewed or driven a VW or Audi TDI? Actually, no. I have not, actually. But I don't know a lot about the platform, so I definitely have to do my homework. So apologize about that. Let's see here. Black, that's the word on your Rice Miata build. So we have a body kit for it. We have a carbon trunk and wing for it. And we're looking for an exhaust for it. So that's where we're kind of at. But the problem is that Chris, my paint body guy, who's like, amazing. If you've watched my paint videos, he's just super backed up because I'm thankful that I've helped him, but he's just super backed up. And so we're trying to find a good time to do the Miata as well. We might end up just kind of like doing all the body work and maybe wrapping it if we have to. Adam, thank you for the donation. Adam R. Finch. Hi again. You should drive a Civic EXT manual. It's like an SI, but even cheaper at $23K. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting, actually. I don't know a lot about the EXT, but it'd be interesting to see the difference, for sure. I mean, a lot of people make the argument for the new Civic Si versus the Type R, because the new Civic Si is actually a pretty fun car. Only downside is that some of them are lemons, especially the CVT ones, which is unfortunate. Give me a second. Should I buy an FRS BRZ? Personally, you can get those for a steal now. You can get like a 2013 or 2014 for really cheap. Just try to find one that's bone stock, and I think you'll be okay. When you boost those, it's like a ticking time bomb, so keep that in mind. Gami says, favorite car reviewed this year. P.S. You should do a Need for Speed review. Okay. All right. Let's see here. This year, I really enjoyed. Man. Kyle's R8 is up there. The twin turbo R8. I know that's not like a question a lot of people, or answer a lot of people want to hear because it's so out of reach for so many people. The Barn Find GT500 was neat. It was really hard to drive though. The FCRX7 was great. I'm like drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank right now. I drove a supercharged 370Z over the weekend, and that was pretty fun. Very balanced too. But I'll try to come up with a better answer if it comes into my head. I apologize about that. Let's see here. Some cars you've seen that make you turn your head. I would say the 4GT that I did in October, that actually brought the childlike spirit back in me for car reviews in a long time. It's not that I don't like doing car reviews. It just, that was like, this is what I do for a living. You know what I mean? And it was the carbon edition. So it's valued at crazy money. And at the same time, Wade, the guy who owned it, is a legend in the industry. So it was just such an amazing time. Also, there's a 4GT that's white with blue stripes from 05 that I saw recently, and I broke my neck because that's just such a cool car. Too Fast Media. I just hear like too fast, too furious. Too Fast Media. Hey, David, I sent you a DM about a buddy's GTR. You got a review. It's super dope. It's got around 2,100 horsepower. Okay, sign me up. Also, email me. It's just easier for me. The DMs on Instagram, it's very, very hard for me to go through. So ThatDudeinBlue@gmail.com. Just follow up on that for me. I appreciate it. If you click off this and you don't remember, guys, go to my About section on my YouTube channel, and then you'll find the email. If you're ever in Houston and want to drive a S550 single turbo hood dump 3.7, let me know. That sounds like a ton of fun. I would love to drive a turbo 3.7. That sounds like a really good time, honestly. I know they're super weird. I know they like their power band and everything's like really odd. So I'd love to see what that's like. Devin, actually, the Dillon supercharger kit is actually what I drove on the 370, but it was the centrifugal version that utilizes a Vortex supercharger. It wasn't the root style, because apparently the root style was absolutely terrible, according to Z1 Motorsports. Not me. Didn't drive one. Are you going to start streaming regularly? Well, seeing how things are going, probably. I appreciate so many of you guys staying. Like 288, 289. We had some 300s at some point. I feel very blessed to have you guys here and staying. So you guys gave me a morale boost on doing the live stream. I was like, oh man, it's been forever. I'm not sure if I should do this or not, but I'm actually having a really good time. So we're almost to an hour. So doing pretty good. Thank you guys. EJ25, 4G63, 4G63. 4G63 is a more fun engine to drive, but both of them are unreliable when they're built. So I am the devil's advocate of Evos and STIs. I'm just going to be very clear because I personally have almost no consistency with them. And it's never when I'm driving. It's only been one time an Evo or a Subaru have broken on me. Or Subaru did too. The 92X broke on me too. But when they're built, it is a ticking time bomb almost always, but they're so fun to drive. So I love them. That's the problem. A lot of people think I hate them. I love them. Like a fast Eclipse or a fast Evo, that gets my heart going. But it's a hard life for those engines. Give me a second and make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm going to take my time to give my voice a break for 5 seconds. So 1 second. Magnum opinion. Are you talking about the Dodge Magnum? I actually thought about doing a Hellcat swapped one at one point because it's such a goofy car. And then I saw how much work it was. And then I was like, I am not mechanically talented enough. I Love Fords 429 says, what is your opinion on old classic cars? I have my grandfather's 69 Mach 1 and its original interior and 351 Cleveland with titanium headers and cam. Why aren't they appreciated anymore? It's a generational thing. Whenever I do a classic car, it's really sad to say, but I pretty much know it's not going to do well. I mean, I did that Barn Find GT500, and on their channel, they got 10 views with their audience. Like, it's an older audience. And then I did it on mine, and it got like 35 to 40,000, which I'm not complaining. I'm just saying the audiences are different. So my audience, for the most part, tends to be a younger-ish generation, especially like 18 to like mid-30s. And a lot of people in our generation grew up with the imports, and they grew up with modern domestic cars. So when you have that combination and then you get to carburetors, a lot of people feel clueless. They're like, how do I plug in my laptop? And how do I, how do I do all this? So I kind of, it's sad, totally is sad, but that's how things go. Craziest build you would like to do? I would love to do like a Ford Escort with an EcoBoost motor in it. Like, I've always just loved those cars, but they're just so expensive to get and import from the UK, especially. Let's see here. Have you ever thought about coming to New Zealand to review our cars? Ford's Garage, yes. If you know a whole bunch of people down there, please email me and send me some stuff and give me an excuse after this pandemic to fly down there. I've always wanted to, because I am very foreign to that whole area of the world. I've never been down there. So I'd absolutely love to. I hear only good things about New Zealand. So especially if you can get me in some like fast Barra motor cars or Barra, I'm sorry if I say it wrong, that's kind of what I'd be looking for. Because it's so foreign to me. We never got those engines, and that's why Americans freak out about them in the current climate, if that makes sense. Would you drive a K28 MR2 Spider? Yes. Very cool car. All right, Lamborghini, opinions on the Cybertruck. I don't even know if they're going to build that thing because it's already been, 2 years since pre-orders. I think they're going to prioritize other vehicles over the Cybertruck, but unless because the Ford Lightning, I think, already had 45,000 pre-orders, which is amazing. Like, that's amazing. So if they want to come out swinging, then they'll build the Cybertruck. But right now, I think they have other priorities, especially with Elon doing like SpaceX and Skylink. I think, is that what it's called? Starlink? Starlink. It's that internet service that they're doing that seems amazing. Gami, besides Jasmine, what cars have you reviewed that truly scared you? Funny story. Somebody earlier in the chat said we love very, very fast, high horsepower Dodge Omni 2 lanes, and that car did scare me. That car actually scared me. It's been a long time. Mar, would you turbocharge a 4.6 liter 4-valve or supercharge it with the Vortec V2? I would turbo. Vortec is an easy, you bolt it on and then you're done. You won't make as much power as the turbo, but you're still going to have a very similar driving experience. Honestly, I'll tell somebody just to Vortec it. Yeah, I'll go with that. Tyler Turner says, would you ever review a Hyundai Tiburon NA or boosted if someone would to reach out to you? Yes, I've never done the Tiburon, and I think it'll be I think it'd be interesting to see the progression of Hyundai by looking back, because the Tiburon was way too cool of a car to be that slow, like looks wise. Should not have. Gino says, hi David, since you own 2 Stangs, have you ever considered picking up a Shelby at one point? Greetings from Switzerland. Yes, at one point I really considered selling some of my fleet to get the new GT500. I was really, because I would have to. Just to financially, I would absolutely have to get rid of something to get it. But I realized really shortly that one, it's not as relatable. Two, I kind of realized that you do bolt-ons make like 900 wheel. Like, I'm not even kidding. The orange one I drove made 930 wheel. And then I drove it on track twice. And the Shelby actually surprised me more on track than it did on a straight line. I was so impressed with it. It brakes like a Porsche GT3, but you can't do anything to it. It's done. It looks good. Some of them have carbon fiber wheels. It has brakes. It has Magnerite suspension. You should not change Magnerite suspension. It's done. So for a video project series, it's a little hard, but then I look at the other side and go, I would drive it a lot more. I wouldn't have as much maintenance, and you guys would get more driving videos. So it's a double-edged sword. This is the mind of a YouTuber, guys. Like, it's hard to get a brand new car that's so good that you can't do anything to it. That's what kept me from the GT350 as well, but they sound amazing. So why did you swap from a centrifugal supercharger to a root style? Usability. It's a more fun power band for the streets. If you're trying to beat people in like highway roll racing and stuff, that's when it would be like debatable. But the VMP is a more fun driving experience because the power is always there. It feels like a more modernized Terminator Cobra, and that's why. Let's see here. How is the car detailing product business going? It is going really well. I appreciate you asking. Everybody who seems to use it seems to really enjoy using it. So thank you guys for supporting me for sure. It's been great. Let's see here. I did have a BMW drift build, but I ended up getting rid of that car. The motor blew up and everything, and a friend of mine just took it. I was like, just take it. And I'd pretty much done the series, right? I've already displayed what you could do with it. But after that, in order to go any farther with it, you had to spend a lot more money, and it just wasn't worth it. So I was like, all right, not worth it. Any plans to come to the UK? I would love to come back to the UK. I actually, if you missed it, I went to the McLaren factory, drove Silverstone, reviewed the 720S on Silverstone. It was pretty amazing. Did the whole Hobbs and Shaw promotional thing over there and had the time of my life. I got to meet the stunt coordinators for Fast and Furious, so that was amazing. Paul, would you rather have a modded S2000 and a fun daily driver like an ISF, or have a GT350 as a daily track car? I have an AB2 daily track car now. Personally, I would take the GT350, and I'm not just saying that because I have a Mustang. I'm saying the best way to describe the GT350 is taking two K-Series engines and putting them together and revving to 8250 RPM with Magnerite suspension and Michelin tires and brakes. You barely have to change the pads out. So it's so good. Like, it's just so good. The S2000 has this really sketchy limit, right? You get to this certain limit and you're like, oh, if I go past this line, then I am in trouble. So the GT350, I never felt like I had that on track. I did 50 laps in a GT350 in Utah one time at a track in Utah, and I had the time of my life. Never had any mechanical issues or anything. As long as you have mechanical sympathy to a car, then you're fine. Pro Street 12. Watch Little Johnny drifting his Safari on YouTube. I'll do that after the stream because I'll probably, with my luck, the stream will somehow get messed up if I pull up another window or something. Why don't you own a Mopar? Typically, it's just the weight. It's just they're big cars. I don't think they're bad cars. The Charger Hellcat's my favorite. Honestly, the Hellcat Red Eye is one of the best bang for your bucks. But the reason I choose the Mustangs over the Mopars is that they handle better. They're a little bit lighter on their feet. Visibility is perfect. And the Dodges are great. They're great now. The interiors are awesome. Dodge is one of the best turnarounds of a company of all time, period. What's your favorite non-American car? That's a hard one. You know what? I'm gonna, aside from like the stereotypical JDM stuff, a car I've been really like on lately is the Audi RS3. And the Audi TT RS, but bear with me, it's because of the engine. The 5-cylinder turbo, I just think is one of the coolest engines that Audi has ever had. And so I've just been like thinking about that. You know, I've been thinking about that car a lot. I just love it. It's just such a neat car. I need to review one. I haven't reviewed one, but I'd love to drive like a really fast one. So might do that pretty soon. Yep, 5 cylinders do sound wild, especially that one that was unsorted. That one was amazing. That thing was dumb fast. Dumb fast. Would you consider, okay, if you're ever in Chicago, would you consider driving my dad's 600 horsepower Chevy Avalanche? Yeah? Please shoot me an email so I can try and organize this. That's funny. Let's see here. Thanks for doing this Q&A, David, Night Riders. I really feel like you do a good job. I'm trying my best. I'm a little rusty, so I appreciate you guys being patient with me. So if I have these moments of silence, it's because I'm just trying to get my thoughts back in place. And I know I stutter sometimes because I think faster than I talk. Does that make sense? So a lot of times I stutter. But thankfully over the years, it's gotten better. I would love to review Adam's GT350. I'll ask him because I might go to the compound sometime this year. Might do that. Let's see here. Do you prefer single or twin turbo? It depends on the platform. Some motors respond better to single turbos and some respond better to twins. It's kind of a weird. It's a very weird thing to explain to somebody who's learning about turbocharging because you think more is better, right? You think 2 turbos, that's the way. But plus with turbo technology getting so much better than it used to be, it's a hard argument to have. Too fast media. If I end up buying an IS300 Sport Cross, would you review it? Wagon, I love those. And Alejandra, my fiance, is obsessed with them. Absolutely obsessed with them. I wish they weren't so expensive because I'm pretty sure we would have one. And they're hard to find in really good condition. But yeah, I would definitely do it. From Fijian vlogger, dude, that's awesome that you're tuning in. What time is it there? I can't imagine what time it is. Let's see here. Let's see here. Did you drive through Lewiston? Oh my God, Idaho. Did you drive through Idaho? Yes, I did. I'm pretty sure we went through there because we were going to Montana. And one of my favorite places in the world is like Glacier National Park. So I absolutely love driving through there. But Grand Teton in freaking Wyoming is breathtaking. If you've never been to any of the national parks in that part of the United States, it'll give you a whole new appreciation of where you live if you're stateside. And you just go, wow, what an unbelievable geographic place. Just like seeing like Zion and their amazing photo spots. So guys, I am going to take a like 30-second intermission to go use the bathroom. I'm not going to make myself suffer through this. So please be patient. I will not take long. Thank you. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're back. Wow, he pees too? He's just like us. I'm sure you heard the flush from here. The office is like, I'm sorry, the office. Yes, my bathroom is the office. Yeah, the bathroom is like right there. But I'm back. Thank you guys. Anyone else love the weird shaped wall? Thank you. I appreciate it. That was Alejandra's idea, and I think it came out really, really great. Oh, by the way, this is all fan art. I didn't do any of these. I just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate the fan art, and it's pretty awesome, except the plate. That's the OG Smurf plate right there. Because in Georgia, we don't have front plates. So I was like, we good. I did wash my hands. Thank you. I knew somebody was going to ask. I'm just like, we got that practice in from last year, boys. I didn't sing happy birthday, though. Yeah. Yeah, no. Oops. Do you know how to skateboard? Yes. I mentioned it earlier today, guys. I have a mini ramp in the office now. And I actually did a collab video with the Tony Hawk Foundation that I'm going to be editing very soon. Because they had a show on Ride Channel called Cars of Skateboarding or Cars and Skateboarding, where it took extreme sports and car lovers and described how similar the people are. And so I got to co-host an episode. So I'm really, really excited. Yes, I can do a kickflip. Yeah. So like I said earlier, when that video comes out, please share it because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Let's see here. When is Gingy coming to your shop? He's actually been here. When I did his Turbo Volvo, I reviewed that. It was a really good time, but it was before he moved here. He just moved here, but it was great. Let's see here. Should I buy a 2JZ GTE? If you want to make your life really, really hard, yes. I'm kidding. I'm the anomaly. All my other buddies who have JZs have really good luck with them. I'm the anomaly. I'm just, needle in a haystack with that stuff. What do I got to do to shoot to 240? Well, first I got to replace the wiring harness because it's that bad. Alkaline water. All right. Any future videos planned that he lives here? Oh, yeah, totally. He's about 40 minutes away. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll come up with something. Pretty exciting stuff. I'm glad to have another really good, humble YouTuber around. Gingium is one of those YouTubers that deserves all the praise that he gets because he's incredibly smart, incredibly talented. And that's why I've never claimed for myself to be a really good mechanic. I've never been a really good mechanic. I grew up in a family that was ain't broke, don't fix it. So I've always had the mindset of trying to aim my skill set towards driving and also more of like a car historian in a way. Because I love history. If I wasn't doing a car channel, I'd be doing a history channel. There's no doubt about it. So that's how I kind of look at myself. And that's why I never pretend to be this amazing mechanic. But Gingium is just that smart. He knows how to fix anything. Cindy 2 because by Zach C6 review soon. Yes. I will be putting that up for an update, guys. I would give me a sec. My brain just farted. Oh, so a buddy of mine named Zach, he found a C6 Z06 with a built all motor, like high compression engine that makes like 700 wheel naturally aspirated. And it's going to be a video of them building it. And then I'll make a review video of it too. It's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be really cool. Thanks, McNugget. Gino is back. Why does Chris always work on yours and not on his car? Does he love Sub-Zero that much more? Or do you might mean Smurf. He hasn't really worked on Sub-Zero that much. But, well, Chris, that's his job. I don't mean that in a sarcastic way or a mean way. So basically, we work together as a team because he helps run a business called SSR Collision. So he wants to display his skill set. And Chris is one of the best bodymen in the country. There is no doubt about it. The guy is one of the smartest guys I've ever known. So that's why when we make videos together, they're planned, they're well executed, and he just loves paint and body. And I love filming somebody who is so passionate about their work and educated. and can back up their education about their work. So that's why I go to him. You should review a P1. I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Yeah, tell me about. So, a friend of ours, unfortunately, had a bail on the mini ramp, the half pipe, and broke his leg right off the bat. And I already had to make like waivers because it was like, oh my God, no. But, things happen. And thankfully, Adonis is a very, very cool guy. Shout out to Adonis. He runs a business called Vivient Auto Detail. And he is an avid user of Patterson Car Care. And it's a detail shop in Georgia. Highly recommend him. Very humble, nice guy. Vivient Auto Detail. Very cool guy. Yeah, the new blue on Smurf is just unbelievable, especially in person. In person, it's way more like vibrant. So when the car is finally put together, I got to put a new alternator on Smurf. I got a high voltage alternator because the boost to pump and all that for the VMP blower is draining a lot of power and it's just not doing the job anymore. So I got to do that. Already have it. And then after that, I'm going to be Tremec T56 swapping it later in the year. So lots of good stuff for Smurf. Lots of good stuff for Smurf. Everybody liked the stream. Appreciate it, Obey. Really appreciate that. You should hit up Bucky. So we tried to contact Bucky for the Cars of Skateboarding, but he was unfortunately out of town. So we almost had it. It was pretty close, but maybe in a future episode, it'd be cool. He's diehard Subi guy. He is all about Subaru. Best skater of all time. Oh, man. I think Bob Burnquist, he is so underrated. Like he is, of course, in the games. He's in the Tony Hawk games. He's in all these things, but he's so technical and he has taken some of the hardest slams in skateboarding history to do it. And that's why he's won so many medals. But Bob Burnquist is one of my favorite skateboarders. Oh my goodness. I talk too fast. I'm going to start crying. You guys are just so good to me. Okay. Somebody asked me, this is going to make me cry too. Somebody asked me if I like my Mustang or my 240 more. I like them equally for different reasons, but the Mustang pretty much never lets me down. So I have a little bit softer of a spot for the Mustang because it just has always been there for me. The 240 just breaks all the time and it makes me sad. This money should probably going to get camera gear. Yeah, I thought about upgrading my camera again. It's called the Canon R5 and it's amazing. But the GH5, by the way, here's the GH5 that I use. So when I do these videos in here, when I'm doing like commentary videos, like Pit My Ride and all that stuff, it's mounted right about yonder on a Gorilla Pod. But the reason I don't go Sony, if you guys are camera nerds, is this guy. They didn't have this forever, and I need to see what I'm doing. So I got to see what's happening. But yeah, I thought about it. GH5, but there's something about it that it has more of like a video camera look, if that makes sense. Like I know that sounds very strange. When the Canon has a much more like cinematic look. Because if you guys remember, I shot on a Canon T3i for like 6 years. And I go back to that footage and sure, it's not as high resolution, but the color is so good. And like the sharpness with the 50 millimeter prime, like I geek out about it. It's awesome. So would you make a podcast? I would love to do a podcast, but here's the problem. I would love to do a podcast that wasn't just about cars. Does that make sense? Because my brain thinks about a lot more than just cars. So I'm scared that I would get trapped in a box, only talking about cars. So I would have to come up with a name that wasn't quite associated with just cars. And so I don't know what I'd even call it. You know what I mean? Because I have a room in this office space that's perfect for a podcast. I would just have to make a set and everything. I just, haven't figured it out. Excuse me. Let's see here. Oh, that's a good question. Somebody mentioned the Veloster N, most underrated car in the industry right now, like hands down. And it's unfortunate because the Veloster before it was such a piece of junk. Like that car's not that great. But the new Veloster N, because it was designed by somebody who came from BMW and the good part of BMW, not the unreliable part of BMW, designed this amazing hot hatch that is just almost as good as the Type R. Like, and it's like $15,000 less. So you can get them for under 30 G's. So they're really, really good. Have you watched Speed Racer? Yes. I actually watched, I think about a year ago. And God, wow. The CGI in that movie is insane for the time. Like the amount of stuff they did with the colors and everything. But yeah, it's a good time. It's a very niche film, but it's not for everybody. But yeah, it's a good time. As long as you don't take it too seriously, it's a good time. Let's see here. If you had the chance, would you drive, review the F1 on public roads? Yes, I would. Like if somebody, here's the thing. If somebody says with a car review, I need you to go 9 or 10 out of 10, right? Like all the way. I honor that. But most of the time, I'd say I go 6 to 7 out of 10 because on camera, there's not much of a difference. The thing is I will drive a car, I'll get the sights, I will get the sounds, I'll accelerate very quickly. But when it comes to like pushing the absolute edge, that's pretty rare. But if somebody would be like, you have one chance in life to rev the crap out of a McLaren F1, you bet. You absolutely bet. Gino, let Tavares and Jared do your 240. If it was running again, then yes, I would. Back up when the 240 is back up running, video Adonis washing it. That's a really good idea, actually. It's a very good idea. And show off Adonis's talents. Do a podcast about people in the auto industry. See, that's what I mean. Like I would get stuck. Thank you, Noel, by the way, for the donation, and Gino and Too Fast, of course. But I have so many interests in life that's why I've had a second channel and I haven't really utilized it. I almost want to make my second channel more of like a behind the scenes and goofy channel with like skateboarding and stuff like that. So I've always thought about transitioning that. So we'll see what happens in life. We'll see. What do you think about the Toyota Corolla GR hatchback? I am very excited for that because I actually drove the new Corolla hatch recently, not on camera, but just drove it around for about maybe 15 miles. And it's a great, like normal daily driver car. It checks every box and it looks cool. If you put it on wheels and slam it, it looks dope. Fastest you've gone on a video. 8 years ago, I think I did 170 or like 180, and you'll guess what car it was. It was very, very scary. Let's see here. Let me back up for a second. I am sorry. You mentioned you didn't want your channel to be only car focused. Which direction would you like to develop your main channel? I mean, the cars of skateboarding is going to be an interesting experiment because I know for a fact that out the gate, it probably won't do that great. But if I stick with it, maybe it will. I think that's how it's going to be. But we'll see, honestly. Any chance, Sean says, any chance of Ed getting you involved in Car Trek? No, as of right now, because basically how that series works is that they're hired by sponsors. So you have to, it's like getting a job, essentially. So that 3.0 is like Auto Tempest baby, if that makes sense. So you got to basically just like Sorted. Sorted had a overhead sponsor by somebody like Auto Tempest, and that's how you pay the bills. And it's like, that's why every now and then I do integrations on my channel because it really does help me. It really does. It's not like one of those, those things where it's like, I could just get a S ton of money. It's like, no, like it helps me pay my bills because with my viewership being very up and down, and I'm not complaining, it's unpredictable. And having that sort of stability, you need it. You have to have it in order to survive on this platform. You're going to be at Caffeine and Octane next Sunday if it doesn't rain. I might be, but I might just go for a drive in the mountains instead, just for my own mental health, honestly, because that's like my favorite thing to do. Not even like super fast. I just love driving in the mountains. Let's see here. What's going on with the drift car? A lot has been going on with the drift car. Had to redo the entire trans tunnel recently because of previous mistakes that have been made. But it will be done by the end of the year. I think that's where I'm at. I think it'll be done by the end of the year. I was going to say earlier, but unfortunately, the more problems we find and the more R&D I have to do, the series is gonna rock. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be great because you're gonna see all the crap that I've had to go through. Easy Target, a good name. Do you think a rusted TF, the out, family friendly Datsun 1600 Roadster has potential? I would not personally love the car or the vehicle. Don't buy a vehicle with rust. Don't do it. It'll make your life way too hard. Find a cleaner one. The price will seem very, very appealing, but in the end, you'll spend more money. Civic build. I might do one this year. Keep an eye out. Might do an EG. Thinking about it. So you guys who have stuck around, it's been an hour and 27 minutes right now. I'm going to let you in on a future video that I think you're really going to like. So if you want to hear it, give me a thumbs up. I want to see if you guys actually listen. So let's see it. And also, let me know how the stream quality has been, because I'm off of Wi-Fi right now. So let me know. I guess this is also going to tell me how much delay there is in the stream. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Keep them coming. I want to see that. I want to see that whole thing thumbs up, dude. Whole thing. Whole sidebar. Let's see it. Okay. Good enough. Thank you. Okay. So I right now have a project that involves a very famous skateboarder and TV host. So it's a stunt car that I'm doing a build on, or I say build, it's more of a project. And that was once owned by Rob Deerdeck. So that's probably gonna be the next series out. It's probably gonna be about 7 to 8 by that guy. So I'm very, very excited about it. So I'll see what you guys have to say about it. And actually, in one of my previous videos that nobody guessed right. Yeah, so I basically have a little like piece of text on it that nobody caught. It's like one frame. Yeah, I'm really excited. It's not a T-Rex, but somebody got super close. Another person got super close. It's not the Spark. It's not the Spark. So we'll see. Mazda Speed Protege. Yes, I have heard of it. They're very cool. Yes, it is making fun of the freak out. We're doing it live with the voice crack and everything. Absolutely. Sonic it is, guys. And there's only 2 Sonics he ever did stunts in, so you'll have to guess which one it is. But that's all I'm going to give you right now. That's it. It's all good. But I think you're really going to like it. It's very unique. And yeah. What has been the hardest part of the COVID pandemic for you? That was doing car reviews, period. Because you had a lot of people who were uncomfortable coming out, obviously. And I am so thankful that in January of last year, I went up to the mountains and reviewed like 15 cars in a week. And that video series, along with another like binge filming week I did in Virginia, that saved my channel during the pandemic. Like I just did these massive film shoots, and that was the way to do it. So the amusement park parking lot stunt. Also, there's 2 of those. So very cool. You need more water. You're right. I'm probably gonna have to use the bathroom again, but we're at an hour and a half. I think we'll close out fairly soon. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, future advice, lay it out. I'm probably just stay another, let's see here, probably another 10 minutes about that. I'm usually a smart water person, but I just grabbed this one. Let's see here. I promise I'm reading. They're going by really fast. David, you should make a TikTok. I actually have one. I've never posted anything on it. So if you guys want to be like the first people to see my TikTok, go right now. It's at ThatDudeinBlue. Because then you'll give me motivation to make TikToks. I know. It's just there's so many platforms anymore. It's so hard to keep up with. Somebody has a good one. What if the 400Z was electric? It would be a harder sell. I think it's the opposite of like the Ford Lightning. It'd be a harder sell because people want that manual. They want that driving experience that's so missing in that price range right now. So very cool. Sophia, onlyfeats.com. Favorite looking car that isn't performance oriented. That's a tough one. I'll have to think about that one. I'll have to think about that one. Taco Tuesday or Wing Wednesday? Boy, you got them street tacos. Let's go. But wings are good. Especially if you're a local of like Georgia in this area, Taco Mac's pretty good. Too Fast Media says, I found the most baller spot that would be for some clips. Oh my God. For some clips in a video, legit a mountain house driveway overlooking going. That is super cool. I'll definitely have to take a look at that for sure. Actually, you know what? I'm going to see you guys. I'm going to see if people are following me right now. Right now. Doing it. I'm going on my TikTok. I never opened this, but I'm going to start, I promise. Because now that I have a warehouse and I can do funny stuff in it. Yeah, definitely. Also, I wanted to pitch a video idea to you guys as well. Oh my God, they just instantly put me onto TikTok. Just now. There, look at those homies. Here we go. So if people here have played Need for Speed Heat, there's a really cool loading screen that has it's like blue and pink and has these kind of pulsing lights to it. And I think I'm going to try and recreate that in real life as a video. It's not quite what I usually do, but I thought it'd be kind of a neat experiment to see how close you could get on a lower budget in a studio space. So I might try and recreate that. But, you know, let's see here. Oh, yeah, was just in Atlanta. Don't know how you live there with that traffic. So living in Atlanta with the traffic is like a strategic military, like just you have to be right on point. I'm talking like by the minute. You have to be like, okay, if I got to go to the city, I cannot leave between this time and this time. I can't leave between this time and this time, and so on and so forth. These tiny little windows where you can get around. But you're right. That's why I live on the outskirts of the city. Plus, reviewing cars, it wouldn't make any sense for me to live near the city for what I do. So that helps. It's like just far enough. That's what's nice about it. Let's see here. Powered by Dreams. Thank you for the buck donation. Anything helps that dude in blue. Anything, especially in crazy, crazy times. So thank you so much for the little blip. Really appreciate it. Have you ever owned a four-door car? Not a car. Oh my gosh, you're right. Just my truck. Yeah, only the truck, but that's a truck. If I had a four-door car, yep, Charger Hellcat's up there. The thing's pretty cool. And the only problem with the JDM imported cars like the Chasers and stuff is they're so overpriced right now. And you don't know what you're going to get from over there. New Coyote or Civic Type R. So the Type R is like, it doesn't have that much character. It looks like it has character. The interior has character, but the engine doesn't sound that great. And it is fast. The car is super fast. But if you don't live in like a super twisty area, you will never pull the full potential of the Type R. But if you just want like an all-arounder, like the Coyote's just a really great choice, especially if your goal is power. If your goal is power, Coyote all day long. Like seriously. Let's see here. Christopher says, David, love your channel. Been here from the beginning. Yeah, I will try and get more videos up for you, man. Too fast. Sorry, delayed your bathroom. Oh, you're totally fine, my dude. Dude, FD Atlanta was amazing this year. Tyler Turner, getting off topic. I remember dinosaurs inspired you to go into filmmaking. What's your favorite dinosaur? I'm a huge Spino fan. Okay. So I personally, it's the most unoriginal answer, but T-Rex is just fascinating to me. That something that big and that ferocious lived on this earth. I respect the raptors for how smart they were, but specifically the Utah raptor, which is actually no, the Deinonychus. This is how much of a nerd I am. Deinonychus is what the Jurassic Park velociraptors are based on. The velociraptor is only as big as a chicken in real life. But Steven Spielberg was like, Deinonychus doesn't sound that cool. So we got to name him Velociraptor. I'm like, oh, why? Spino is a cool dinosaur, though. He was huge. But it's crazy to think they never met because they lived like millions of years apart or thousands of years apart. Crazy. Allosaurus underrated. Gigantosaurus is bigger than T-Rex, but he's kind of goofy looking. Anyway, don't get me on a dinosaur rant. I absolutely love dinosaurs. Freaking cool. Yeah, dude, it does. When you talk about dinosaur names, I have an itchy nose for some reason. When you talk about dinosaurs now, a lot of people think you're talking about vehicles now because of the raptor, velociraptor, all that stuff. Robert, we're trying to work on international shipping. I apologize how expensive it is, but it is very hard. It's very hard to find like affordable price. It's because you're dealing with a chemical. Nice hat hair, right? It's because you're dealing with, oh no. Oh, okay. Are we back? Are we back? I was typing that the stream might have messed up. So let me know if everything's okay. Okay, Square for life. I know Hondas are anything special. If you're ever in Southern California and you want to review an 88 Civic sedan, I got one for you. All right. Yeah, but I go over there quite a bit. So just shoot me an email as always. Powered by Dreams. Advice for someone broke and not motivated to fix car. Totally understand. So what I want you to do is, if you basically have a car that's a dream car, and go online and look for inspiration. Look for other people who have your car and see what they did with it. And then look at it and go, how would I do that? How would I do it differently? Because then you get this vision, you get this dream. I want to take it back to 2015 when I got my 240SX, right? I went on Forza and I built my dream 240SX. I said, that's what I'm going to build. And that gave me motivation. I printed off a picture from Forza.net of my 240 and kept staring at it going, I know this sucks, dude. You're getting there, but try. Just keep trying. So that my best advice is to find inspiration, try and figure something out that works for you. And at the same time, don't get too discouraged because cars are finicky. Cars are mechanical things that can go wrong. We have this very weird mindset that when you modify cars that it's always going to work when people have never built a project car. And it can happen to any platform. That's another thing. People think that, you know, like, oh, it broke because it's a Subaru. It broke because it's a VW. It broke because it's a Ford. It broke. No, like it all depends on what you do. And at the same time, doing your research and seeing what the weaknesses are of the platform. Every platform has a weakness, and not enough people do the research before committing to a platform. So that's my best. That's my best advice. Dude, we had 100 minutes. Let's go. I am stoked. I'm so happy I did this. Like I feel reinvigorated. Let's see here. I know, G. I was talking about that earlier on the stream going, I need to make my way back to the Discord because I have done them a disservice. I am so sorry. Is it safe? You probably meant safe to convert an all-wheel drive car to rear-wheel. It depends on the platform. I know the R35, for example, you can do a mod where you can do a rear-wheel drive burnout, but then they go back to the all-wheel drive system to launch them. I know some people have taken the STIs and converted them to rear-wheel drive too for drifting. Let's see here. Ethan asked, do you see a two-valve? I really don't, but I had a dream recently where I was driving my first car again, and I woke up really sad that I wasn't driving my first car. Oh, there you go. You just weld the drivetrain. There you go. I learned something today. I didn't know how it worked. Thank you for letting me know. See, know what you know what you don't know. That is the saying of anything in life. If you meet someone in any field of life, don't ever pretend like you know something you don't. And it's especially true in the car community because someone always knows more than you in the car community. So stay humble and keep at it. I know it's very cheesy and it's like, oh, YouTubers giving us life advice, but it's gotten me to here. So that's probably my best piece of advice in the car community. All right. I'm going to take final questions. I'm going to go to an hour and 45 minutes. So about a minute and a half. So let's go. Let's see here. Here they come. My brain. All the way from Hawaii. I miss going to Hawaii. Let's see here. Would you ever do a gaming stream? I've done one before, but it unfortunately just wasn't that successful. So, like when I say successful, I mean like 3 people showed up. So it's hard for me to justify that, unfortunately, even though I love gaming. Estradine drift car is well on the way to be done. M2 or Supra. M2 is more useful and you can drive with the windows down. How can I up my MPG and my Fiesta shift earlier? Would you get a CRV? If I ever did, I would just put it on bags and make it look cool. Have you ever drove an all-wheel drive Celica? No, but I would love to, especially if it's a GT4. Opinion on lower trucks. I think they look dope. Favorite muscle car? That's hard. I like all 3 of the major brands now, except the Camaro. Camaro drives amazing, but the visibility is awful. And let's see, M5 V10 project car. No, because the motor, if it goes, is $12,000. Friend of mine learned that the hard way. And wow, a lot of people are asking questions. I just answered. Sorry about that. Favorite wagon? So far, Jen Jim's wagon I drove, and I would love to drive the new RS6 Avant. Okay, guys. Everybody, thank you for coming to the stream. I think this was super successful. If you guys want me to do this more often, please let me know in this chat. I had an amazing time. Keep an eye out for a video on Sunday. I will do my very best to get it out. It'll be a VR30 swapped 370Z. So basically the 400Z motor in a 370. Pretty cool prototype stuff. Hope you all enjoyed this. Let me know if there's anything I can do to improve my stream. I'm open to constructive criticism. So please let me know. Love you guys. Really, really appreciate it. I switched from Saturday to Sunday about a year and a half ago. And yeah, appreciate all your guys' help. You guys are the best. Thank you for sticking around for an hour and 46 minutes. Amazing, amazing stuff. Thank you. Thank you for the motivation in life. And I appreciate all your support. See you guys later. Peace. And now the awkward in-stream delay.